So I've seen the film, and I realized this might be a spicier question based on that. What do you admire most about your character?
Um, Gosh, there's very little. No,
Fair.
no, I like that he's fearless and he doesn't care what other people think of him, and he's not afraid. He's sort of unafraid of saying what he thinks. I think there's something to be admired in that for sure. I wish I had a little more Grady in me sometimes, but equally, no. I mean, I think. Yeah, I admire that he just doesn't care. He's just there's no he only cares about himself, and I think more people, need to be selfish sometimes.
Do you need to shake off a character like this at the end of the day? Because there's a performance of yours, The Nightingale, that I
Yes.
remember watching that and I was like, oh my God. And I'd imagine this is not exactly similar, but you're like inhabiting this really dark skin. Like, how do you kind of deal with that?
I tend not to stay in character. Like there might be certain moments within the filming schedule or the day that uh, that if there's a specific scene that's really heavy and I need to really focus, I will be quiet and keep myself to myself a little more. But generally speaking, I'm quite happy to shed it the second that someone says cut. And I need levity. I need sort of camaraderie and to feel connected to people. Because I think, yeah, I don't know what that is, but like I don't know. I love my job and I love the opportunity of disappearing behind a mask, but like equally, I don't want it to be a miserable experience for people, and I don't want to be, if you were to hold on to something like that for too long, um, yeah, it will affect everyone. Like, but don't get me wrong. There's definitely sometimes an energy that you carry with you. Like no matter if I drop the accent and I make a joke, I could then go to my trailer or my dressing room or whatever it is, and still kind of feel affected somewhat. So you do sort of carry it with you. But I was very fortunate that I was sort of living at home when I was doing Grady. So I think when I get home, it's like my kids might be there, or my girlfriend at the time, or my best friend, or whatever it is. It's just like I kind of was able to compartmentalize because there was sort of a departure. I think when you're away on location, sometimes you're sort of going back to your room and you're completely alone and you're left with your
The
thoughts.
spiral.
Especially if you're on a different time zone, all your friends and family are 8 hours away, and you're like, oh gosh, this is dark. It can be, and the Nightingale was that. That was me in Australia, pretty much on my own. And and we were dealing with that and shooting in the weirdest locations, and everyone was feeling the heaviness of that. That was and also I'd put on a lot of weight for the Nightingale. So like for me, that just the general feeling of like, oh, I don't like myself. Like it was heavy. It was a very dark time.
Yeah, well, specifically with this character, obviously he has his addictions, and one of those is not food. So I felt that I really had to sort of get into not necessarily lose weight, but just sort of be in that very sinewy physical form. So for me, that meant getting up every morning, doing a long walk along the Richmond River, which is beautiful near where the studios were, and very much kind of sort of having an image in my head of him being kind of wiry and almost animal-like. Obviously as an actor, that's always fun to do, and it was just helped, being on set. And Barnaby as well, the director, it was very open to ideas, and he came up. He's got very strong visual image. He came up with all the, obviously the costume and the tooth and all these sort of things. So it was great just working with him on that, and exploring.
I do actually want to talk about collaboration for a second because you did
Yeah.
mention getting to kind of play around on this one. And I'm curious. I just saw Frankenstein at TIFF, and it's always exciting to see you like
Oh,
pop up in something, And I know it's not the
yeah.
biggest role in that, but I am always curious. Like, what are the exciting things about working with a new collaborator like Barnaby versus somebody who you've had a long relationship like Guillermo?
Yeah, that's a good point. As I'm sure you do, when you meet people in a creative environment, they very quickly reveal themselves as to whether they're open to ideas or not. That's not something I judge, but as a collaborative actor, I'm sort of like, okay, well, look, I have some ideas. I am not wedded to any of them. shall we have a coffee and discuss if any of them interest you at all? And obviously with Guillermo, I haven't seen Frankenstein yet, but with him, he just phones me up and says, I want you to play this, whatever. Do you want to do it? And I always, of course, say yes. But somebody like Barnaby is extremely visually driven. He's very thoughtful and is an amazing photographer as well. So visually, he had a very strong idea about what he wanted, that character-wise, costume-wise, the texture of the production, etc., etc. So I very quickly found that we were simpatico and had ideas about collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would imagine they're both pretty visually driven
Yeah,
directors, so
as
easy
you
to
know.
slip in back and forth.
Yeah.